Good evening. It is not over. Our snow-capped mountains are going to stay that way a bit longer.
Yeah, pretty incredible. More snow, more beautiful views, but also more problems. Plenty of crashes and spinouts in Napa County and in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Highway 17, in fact, shut down today for several hours. This is the main artery between San Jose and Santa Cruz. Tonight, though, 17 is back open. As for the fun of it all, a snow day of sorts in San Mateo County. This is Woodside, Mid-Peninsula. People skiing in the parking lot right there. Also, of course, building snowmen and having some snowball fights.
Now, at this hour, thousands of people are still in the dark. PG&E is working to get the lights back on, but the bitter cold temperatures are making the outages harder to deal with. In San Francisco, we saw a record low for February 24th, 39 degrees in the city, breaking a record set in 1891 when temperatures in the city dipped to 40 degrees.
It's beautiful right now. We have team coverage this evening. Let's begin with our chief meteorologist, Jeff Ranieri. Jeff, what does the weekend look like? We are here.
Oh, we are going to have some on and off chances of some rainfall. Right now, we're still dealing with a storm system that brought us all of this unusual snow and that cold blast of air. It's just slowly moving off towards the south, now hitting Los Angeles and Southern California with some of the worst weather. But here's the interesting thing about this. The backside of the storm, it's coming back around and it's going to hit us here for a second time. That's why we're in for some more rain as we head through the overnight hours. Also the chance of more of that snow. So let's put a track on it, and you can see here off to the north that rain over Fairfield headed off towards the west to Napa by 11:02. Petaluma right here at 11:30. Also a small batch of showers here just left Oakland. That's moving towards South San Francisco into 11:41 tonight. So yes, rainfall chances stay with us early tomorrow morning right here at 6 o'clock. Maybe even a rain snow mix down to 500 feet. On top of that, the cold we have been mentioning, freeze warning, frost advisories up for the Bay Area. Temperatures here ranging from 28 to 38 degrees. I'll have the full timeline of this coming up in about 15 minutes.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you, Jeff. Now, of course, that snow does look nice, but not if you don't have power and you're cold. Thousands of families are still in the dark, and crews have been working around the clock to try to fix that. But the fix can't come fast enough. Right now, 7,800 people, 7,800 PG&E customers are without power. Now, that is down significantly from this time last night. Most of the outages, though, are still in the North Bay and the South Bay, but it's not just power problems. Tonight, the snow, fallen trees, slippery roads are the biggest hazard. NBC Bay Area's Stephanie Magallon joins us in the Santa Cruz Mountain, where, Stephanie, people are dealing with a lot at this point.
Yeah, so this is a neighborhood off Summit Road, and nobody here has power. The homes here, they're just surrounded by snow. Let me just show you a little bit. We're talking about 3, maybe 4 inches of snow, and they tell me it was twice as much this morning. They say for tonight, they're really fearful of what can happen throughout the night because of the rain. Homes surrounded by snow and darkness. Off Summit Road, families are relying on generators or propane heaters just to stay warm.
The snow's fun, the power's not.
Layla and her family say the snow blocked off their entire neighborhood and made branches fall from the sky like rain. A massive branch is still lying on the roof.
You hear the crack and then woof, the branch is falling down.
I was terrified. I just jumped and
They're hoping tonight's storm won't worsen their situation. County and state crews have been working around the clock clearing roads and sanding hazardous zones like Highway 17. Here, dozens of families have been stopping for the snow, a situation Caltrans calls a hazard.
Cars, due to the snowy and icy conditions, are going to be unpredictable. Please go back into your cars or go back inside or go to a place that is much safer.
They're asking everyone to stay home and avoid these slippery roads and the threat of compromised trees.
As an example, if you are going to travel through the mountain state routes, bring a flashlight, bring a blanket, bring some sand, salt, kitty litter, or anything that you might need. Think about it if you were going to Tahoe.
Caltrans says you can expect to see several lane closures throughout the night and Saturday morning, specifically along Highway 17, Highway 9, 1, and 35. So PG&E doesn't have an estimated restoration time for the families in this neighborhood. The residents here are telling me that they're just hoping that the roads and the highway stay open so they can leave if they need to. Live in the Santa Cruz Mountains, I'm Stephanie Magallon, NBC Bay Area News.
Stephanie, thank you. From the South Bay, let's go to the East Bay. Heavy snow as well on Mount Diablo. A lot of people pulled out their sleds, snowboards, and skis, but accessing our new slopes wasn't that easy. Here's NBC Bay Area's Thom Jensen.
This is what people are finding when they're trying to get to Mount Diablo summit today. The scenic road is gated, as it normally is at night, but the gates were locked early today on both sides in the afternoon for safety reasons, according to a ranger, and it will remain locked until further notice. This family turns around, the driver saying she doesn't have the footwear needed to make the 5-mile hike to the summit or even the lower snow line just a couple miles up the road.
You're going to the park?
Rangers closed Mount Diablo Scenic Boulevard due to downed trees and limbs and icy conditions, much to the dismay of people trying to enjoy all of that snow that fell overnight and into Friday morning.
Fortunately, it's closed, man. I hope tomorrow is open.
It's a little disappointing. We're a little confused because we saw the cars turning around, but we don't live too far, so it's not too crazy.
Near the summit, snow drifts. It looked more like Donner Pass near Tahoe than Mount Diablo. Complete with snow plows, which forced everyone off the road, and this Alamo family wasn't going to let anything stop them. So right after school, with the youngest on Dad's shoulders, they hiked 2 miles up the mountain to enjoy the kids' first ever experience in the snow.
But they kept saying there was snow up here, so we just kept going.
They go really fast. I flipped over. It was really fun, and sledding was fun, and we did a snowball fight.
There's nobody up here. It's wide open, but you have to hike up.
And we found lots of people hiking and biking up the mountain to get their own little piece of the action in the snow. Some were still walking out tonight after a day unlike almost any other on the normally arid Mount Diablo. Mount Diablo Park says it will continue to assess the conditions and will update the public when the road reopens. On Mount Diablo, Thom Jensen, NBC Bay Area News.
Some really beautiful shots there. So we saw some skiers a few minutes ago in Woodside, also some makeshift skiers there in the Berkeley Hills. And some hikers braving the elements today. This is Mission Peak in Fremont. These hikers making the snowy trek to the top. This usually takes about 5 hours round trip, and that's without the snow. And another angle from our NBC Bay Area Sky Ranger giving us a bird's eye view of Mission Peak overlooking Fremont and really the entire Bay Area.
Okay, let me show you something else. These two things don't go together, snow and wine country, but that's exactly what some vineyards are dealing with after several inches of snow came falling down. Add to that they're also dealing with power outages. NBC Bay Area's Jeff Vang is in St. Helena with more on how things are going to impact the weekend there.
Here's a sight you don't see often, the mountains of wine country covered in snow.
It doesn't look it, but we're going in springtime. And, you know, the trees are flowering, the daffodils are up, and then this comes.
It began falling last night into early this morning, up to 10 inches in some places, blanketing vineyards on the county line of Napa and Sonoma. At 1,800 feet elevation, Stuart Smith of Smith Madrone Vineyard and Winery says they're used to just a bit of snow every couple of years. This much means this weekend.
Everybody on the mountain that had visitors scheduled for tomorrow, off. Yeah. We've been out of power since late last night. I don't think we'll get power back until sometime late Monday or Tuesday.
Stewart tried reaching his vineyard earlier this morning to check things out. Key word, tried.
The roads leading up to these vineyards are a mess, as you can see. Stewart says as they were trying to get up this morning, there were trees, just like this one, down all over the roads. He says recently fires have weakened the trees in the area, and then compounded by this heavy snow, it didn't help.
The number of trees that have fallen down or branches that have fallen off is unprecedented.
Many trees now pushed to the side of Spring Mountain Road, along with one car after another left abandoned. President of Visatui Winery in St. Helena says employees couldn't make it down the mountain safely.
Just talked to Jason, one of our winemakers, and I think he had 8 inches of snow, no power, trees down everywhere.
As for the vines up there, the buds haven't broken. Vineyards tell me they think they'll survive, but
our olive trees took a big hit. We have 140-year-old olive trees, and they're tall. They're 30, 35 feet tall, and they're a wreck.
A wreck that'll need a little more TLC as they wait for this winter wonderland to melt.
It's a nice diversion, you know, and then in a couple of days it's back to the grind.
In St. Helena, Gia Vang, NBC Bay Area News.
We like that, back to the grind. Not just here in the Bay Area, plenty of snow down in Southern California. This is in Wrightwood, which is in San Bernardino County. A lot of people playing there as they are here, and then plenty of people putting on their chains. The elevation there, about 6,000 feet.
It's a pretty rare event, the snow event, at least in the higher terrain here in Southern California in general. And so I went up there to sample some of the blizzard conditions.
Yeah, for the first time since 1989, a blizzard warning is in effect for the mountains in Ventura and LA counties through tomorrow afternoon. So as this winter weather continues this weekend, stay with us both on air and online. You can also download our free NBC Bay Area app. It's a really good resource to get the latest updates sent straight to your phone.